So let's talk about a next chapter here. We'll talk about 더 and 덜. So you might have seen these words. You might know these words. We're going to sort of look at them together with 보다 soon. So this also ties in very closely with this form. But we're just going to break it up first and just talk about 더 and 덜. So an example of this being used is 운동을 더 하고 싶어요. So 운동 is exercise. We have our 더 here. This is kind of small. I'm not sure if you can read this, but and then we have, so more is this 더, more and less. 더 is more and 덜 is less. So 운동을 더, more exercise, 하고 싶어요. Remember this 고 싶다 form, this 고 싶어요 form is used to talk about things you want to do. So I want to exercise more. This is our 더. Okay. So a little note again, so 더 is more and 덜 is less. And you place them before the verb. The fact that the final letter changes the meaning entirely, yes. It's just a small little difference, right? That one little letter and it has a completely opposite meaning. So yeah, you got to be a little bit careful of that. And just make sure you pronounce this lil if you're speaking 덜. Yeah. Okay, so just quick examples of using it before verbs. We have a verb like 먹다. Does anyone know what the verb 먹다 means in Korean? 먹다. Maybe I zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. To eat, yes. So 더 먹다 is to eat more and 덜 먹다 is to eat less. What about 마시다? What does 마시다 mean? To drink. Yes, thank you. One Gamilo. 마시다 means to drink. So 더 마시다 is to drink more and 덜 마시다 is to drink less. Okay, so how about an example? So I'll do this first one and then we can do the other ones sort of. Actually, we can probably do them all. Or at least most of them. So this first sentence says 저는 설탕을 덜 먹고 싶어요. Okay, does anyone know what this word 설탕 means? 설탕. 설탕 is a fairly common word, I think. Candy, yes, sweets, candy, perfect. Sugar's close. It's more specifically like candy and sweets, but yeah, like sweet things, right? Sweet things like candy, sugar, cake. Well, I mean, not really cake, but, you know, candy. 덜 is less. I see people already saying, right? Already saying this complete sentence, so good job. And then again, we have our 먹고 싶다. This 고 싶다 means is things you want to do. And we've combined it with 먹다, which means to eat. So 먹고 싶어요 means I want to eat. So if you said 저는 설탕을 먹고 싶어요, it would be I want to eat sweets, right? But adding in this 덜 means 저는 설탕을 덜 먹고 싶어요. I want to eat less sweets. I want to eat less sugar, less sweets, less candy. Oh, I have sugar actually here. So there you go. I want to eat less sugar or sweets. You just ordered it. Thank you so much. I hope you like it. All right. Next one. 어제는 비가 더 많이 왔어요. Okay. First word is 어제. Anyone here know what 어제 means in Korean? It's sugar. Yeah, okay. I might have got things a bit crossed there. 설탕, sugar. 사탕. 사탕 is candy. Oh boy. Yesterday. 어제, yes. 어제 is yesterday. 어제는, as for yesterday, 비. 비. Anyone know what 비 is? It's also a famous singer. Rain. Perfect. Rain. And 비가 오다 is to rain in the present tense. This is the past tense. 비가 왔어요 means it rained in the past. So 어제, we're talking about yesterday, right? So that makes sense. Yesterday, Rain more came. This 많이 is means more, and it's very often combined with these 더 and 덜 words. You'll often see it used in these sentences too. So yeah, I see people already sort of saying it. Good job. 어제 비가 더 많이 왔어요. It rained more yesterday. It rained more yesterday. Or yeah, good job. This next one. 저는 물을 더 마시고 있어요. So we've got some other grammar forms and other words happening here. First, we have this word 물. Anyone know what 물 is in Korean or in English? If you translate 물 into English, it's a very common word. It's a good word to know. Water, yes, laka, beautiful. 물을 더 more. 마시다, as we had it up here too, it means to drink. And this 고 있어요 form is things that you are doing. It's the present progressive tense. So drinking, eating, working, things like that. So if you were to translate this whole sentence into English, you have 저는 물을 더 마시고 있어요. It's not the 고 싶어요 one, so it's a little bit of a different grammar form. They do look kind of similar. Yes, I see Safia and Emirox, beautiful. I am drinking more water. I am drinking. Am, ing, I can maybe add. This 고 있다 form is used when you're saying, I am doing something. And the thing that you're doing is water, more drinking. I'm drinking more water. Okay. And this last one here, 요즘. 요즘은 커피를 덜 마시고 있어요. 요즘. Anyone know what 요즘 means in Korean? 요즘. Also a fairly common word. It's also to do with times, these days. Yeah, perfect, Beatrice. These days or nowadays or lately. Lately is also fine as well. Any of those translations are good. So 요즘은, as for these days, as for lately, 커피 is coffee. 커피를 덜, less, 마시고 있어요. We're also using this 고 있다 form like before. And it's also the same verb, so it also is am drinking. Dream my girl, yes. Lately I'm drinking less coffee. Or I am drinking less coffee these days. Or nowadays I'm drinking less coffee. Any of those translations are good. For 요즘은 커피를 덜 마시고 있어요. These days I'm drinking less coffee. That is not true for me. I drink lots of coffee every day. Perhaps I shouldn't, but that's just how things go. Okay. And then another little note. These were all action verbs. How do you know when it's less or more? Good question. So 더 is more and 덜 is less. And when you're speaking, you kind of just have to really pick up on that sound. 더 meaning more and 덜 meaning less. Generally, 더 is used more often. Same in English, right? You usually say you like, something more than this, or you do something more than that, rather than saying, less. So generally it's going to be more, but yeah, you can keep a close ear out for the sneaky little 덜s. Hello, I'm from Nigeria. Hi, welcome. Happy to have you here. Okay, yeah, so this was all with action verbs, but you can also do it with descriptive verbs. So descriptive verbs are when you're describing some noun, and you can also use 더 and 덜 with descriptive verbs as well. For example, 어렵다. Does anyone know what 어렵다 is in English? This is the book, Conversational Korean Grammar. South Africa, hi, welcome. Beatrice, yes. 어렵다 means hard or difficult. So 어렵다 is hard or difficult. And this exclamation mark means that it's a irregular verb. 어렵다 is a be up irregular verb. And if you're not familiar with that, We covered it in a previous lesson, so it's been covered before now. But you can go back and learn about 어렵다 and other 비읍 irregular verbs. This one here, 덥다, is also a 비읍 irregular. Does anyone know what 덥다 means in English? 덥다. It's to do with weather. Hot, 얄린, yes, beautiful. 덥다 means to be hot. And 재미있다, it means to be fun or interesting. See you, bye, have a good sleep. Okay. So we'll do some short examples with descriptive verbs. 한국어는 더 어려워요. Thank you for the roses chicken ad. Appreciate that. That's amazing. So this 어렵다, because it's this 비읍 irregular verb, conjugates to this in the present tense. Again, you can go back and practice these bi읍 irregular verbs. Basically what happens, if I'm going to give you a very, very brief introduction to bi읍 irregular verbs, this is what happens. So you have a verb like 어렵다. First thing you do, take away 다, right? That goes away. You always take away 다. Next thing you do, you take away the bi읍. The bi읍 goes away, it just vanishes for all time. Now, next thing you do, you add an u. You just stick it on after the end. So now you have 어려우. Now this is what you conjugate into the present tense. And because it ends in u, you add 어요, and it becomes 어려워요. So very, very brief introduction to bi읍 irregular verbs. If you want more practice with that, go and check them out online as well. But this sentence, what does it mean? 한국어는 더 어려워요. 한국어. What does 한국어 mean in Korean or in English? I just ordered my book. Thank you, Juan Camilo. Thank you. I hope you like it. 한국어. 한국어, you probably will know this word. 한국어 is Korean. Yes. 한국어 is how you say the Korean language in Korean. 한국어. 한국어는, as for Korean, that's the topic particle. 더, more, this is our more. 어려워요. Korean is, 더 어려워요, is more difficult. It's more difficult. And, this is kind of strange out of context, right? If you were saying something like this, you would have to already kind of be talking about something else. Maybe you're already talking about like French or something. You'd be like, oh no, 한국어는 더 어려워요. It's more difficult than French or something like that. So in context, the sentence is fine. Without any context, you're not really sure what it's more than, right? Is it more difficult than English? Is it more difficult than Chinese? I don't know. But in context, it's fine. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Yeah, hi. Okay, what about this next one? 그 영화는 덜 재미있어요. 그 영화. Anyone know that? Oh, Jonghood Songworld. Yeah, beautiful. Very, very quick. This book is called Conversational Korean Grammar. 그 영화 is that movie. So that movie is less Southfield. Yes. It's less fun or less funny. 재미있어요. 재미있다 can mean either fun or funny or interesting, kind of depending on the context. So any of those things is fine. So is saying Korean is too difficult, even if it says more? It's more like it's more difficult. This 더 does mean more. If you want to say it's too difficult, there's a different word for that. 너무 means too or too much. That's also very natural. You can say that. You can say 한국어는 너무 어려워요. Korean is like so hard. It's too hard. You can use 너무 for that very, very well. So that's a good word to know. And okay, so and the last one, Sisu. Yeah, you've already got it. 오늘은 더 더워요. So this 더워요, again, it's this bi읍 irregular thing. You can kind of see it, right? You can see this, how it looks kind of similar here. This is where it comes from, this 덥다. 덥다 is a bi읍 irregular verb. So when it conjugates to present tense, it becomes 더워요. So 오늘은 더 더워요. Today is more hot. Or we would probably say in English, today is hotter. Today is hotter. Either one is fine. Today's more hot. You can also say that, right? It's all right. Today's hotter. Today's more hot. Okay. Now, another little note we have here. Notice how the 있는 topic particle is used. So notice how in each of these sentences, this topic particle is used. That's a good little note to remember as well, because when you're using this ta, you are in a way creating contrast in your sentences, right? You are creating contrast when you add these things. You're saying something is more or less than some implied thing, right? And this 는 topic particle is used in sentences that have contrast. So it's very natural to use the topic particle in these sentences because of that contrast. Okay. I hear some Korean people are actually following this. It's probably good English practice too, right? You're listening to me speak English, I guess. The Korean you know, of course. So, yeah. So those were some examples of using 더 and 덜 in a sentence. But that's kind of only half of the problem, right? What if you want to say, I like exercise more than this, or, you know, it rained more yesterday compared to today, or something like that. To make those kind of sentences, you need another grammar form. You need this 보다 grammar form.